Okay, we're going to take a quick tour of your channel page. You can see that I have loaded up here my channel art, and we've done this section, so let's look at the rest of the page briefly. First of all, you'll find a home button, which will bring you back to this main page. Here you could, where it says share your thoughts, you can give a little blurb, a little explanation, and then you can add in a link to a video, basically. So it doesn't have to be your own video. This is a place where you could share something else with people who might be visiting your page, or it could be if you'd like. Okay, when you were done, you'd simply click Post. To the right, you see this Channel Tips, and this is giving you suggestions about what you should do with your site. If you say View All, you can see that there's stuff on branding your content if you wanted it, updating your email address or getting local updates, etc. I'm going to close that tab. But if you don't want to see this, you can just lay your mouse over the box, and a lot of things in YouTube work like this. The control doesn't appear until after you lay your mouse over it, and I could click the X here and remove it. There are two other features on the right that you might want to consider using or removing. One is featured channels. Now, a channel, well, you have a channel here. So a channel is somebody's collection of work. You can add other people's channels here, and this is basically just a recommendation bar. So if you had your channel set for things that you were distributing to your history students, say, and there were some great other channels out there like Crash Course and other things where people are putting together great material, and you just wanted to share that with your students, you click Add Channel. Down here you put in the URL, and I'll show you how to get that in a second. And then you say Add, and it will just appear in the list. So let's see how you find a channel to add there. On the left side is a Browse Channels button. I can click that, and it's going to bring up some suggestions for me. There's things here that it suggests, but I can also use this search box. So I can say History and search, and there's Crash Course, so it's obviously very popular. If I click right on the link, okay, so you can see that this is the channel. And you can copy the address from the bar on the top, come back to your channel, and you can add that URL right in there. Say Add. Another way to do it would be simply to pop open a new window, go to YouTube. Let's just say that you had been randomly searching around, or there was a link to something from somewhere, and you happen to let's say, and you found a video that you liked. A good place to look is in their channel. So even though you may be looking at a video, down here is the name of the channel that's included in. And you'll see that most channels, the URL is, not all, but a lot of channels, the word channel is going to be included up in the URL along with these random characters that have been generated. So I could copy that and paste it if this was appropriate. Come back to my tube, come back here, paste it in there, and add the channel. When I'm done, I say Done. And then you can see as somebody comes in, they're going to list out on the right. Now, the other box that's available to you is this Popular Channels on YouTube. That's there by default and enabled by default. The bad thing about this is you have no control over it. So these are just popular channels, and as things become popular, they'll appear here, and you may want to limit that. If you do that, you just click on Disable. It's going to warn you that if you disable this feature, that your channel will not be recommended across other channel pages. And in most cases, that's just fine. If this was a personal project of mine and I was looking for a lot of exposure, this would be a disadvantage. But if this is a page for my students and I'm not really interested in getting a million hits from people I don't know, then shutting this off won't be any kind of problem. Just to finish your quick tour, and we don't have too much in here to look at yet, but other than the Home tab, you have a Videos tab. Had I loaded videos into this space, this is where I would see all of my videos that I've loaded. I can group those videos in something called a playlist, and that's, if somebody clicks on that playlist, they'll get an entire menu of the associated videos, the ones that I think should go together. And you would see your playlists here. This Channels tab is for your featured channels, for the ones that you like or have recommended. There's also a discussion section that we'll talk about later. That's where if you've allowed comments on your videos, which you can turn on or off, but if you allow comments, this is where those things would collect. And the About tab simply gets you back to a lot of the same settings that we got to from Channel Art. In other words, you want to add an email address, your country, links that you might want to include on the Channel Art, etc. And that's a basic tour of the main features that will be available to the public on your channel. Oh, before we finish, over here, right next to your channel name, you're going to say View as Yourself. But if you'd like to see what it's going to look like to a casual viewer, you can change this to a returning subscriber or somebody who's coming back to your site. Now notice that these are links that tell you how many subscribers you have and a link to get you to your video manager, which we'll look at later. But when we switch, basically you're going to lose that view. So a couple of things are going to drop off the page, but basically what you're seeing is very, very similar to what, with some slight exceptions, very similar to what your viewers are going to see.